OMG and friends, where we talk about the things that you think about and some things that you don't. I am your host, OMG, along with my co host today.
Daydream.
And as always, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. I wanted to first show you these shells here because for over 3,000 years, this was used as currency. It is called cowrie shells, Cowry. You can look that up. And it was used with the indigenous Aborigine as well as China, Africa, and India. So over 3,000 years of that being currency. So we're going to talk about today businesses having being people less as well as cashless. So again, guys, if you very well recall, you know that Capital One always asks you in their ad, what's in your wallet? Well, one thing for sure, pretty soon it won't be cash. Very powerful forces are pressing passionately for a worldwide cashless society. Now, 2 years ago, Bill Gates promoted it when he said the key to cashless society will be the mobile phones. Already in the developing countries, here we go, already in the developing countries with the right regulatory framework, people are storing money digitally on their phones and using their phones to make purchases as if they were debit cards. Now, can you now see how they will start making the RFID chip planted just under the skin the next new normal? And because of convenience, no need to take your phone out. Your digital data will be in the chip planted between your thumb and your forefinger. Are y'all getting this? By 2030, 2 billion people who don't have a bank account today will be storing money to make payments on the phone, kind of like, would you say, Apple Pay? The technology is in place. According to Chris Skinner, author of The Future of Banking and Digital Bank, wrote, "We already have contactless paper payment. I'm sorry, why am I saying paper? Contactless payment terminals, fingerprint recognition payments, micro and mobile payments, and the only logical step is to introduce non-card based, biometric based payment systems." Now, there is Amazon Go, a people-less and cashless grocery store, first introduced in Seattle and most recently in Chicago in September. Now, do expect one in Houston sooner probably rather than later. While we all have grown very used to cash, we are watching the folding currency reach its used by date. There will be a time, not sure when, I can't give you a date, but soon we will look up and physical money is going to be coming to an end. Traditional bank accounts will be obsolete in the next few years. The cashless society now one step closer to the mark of the beast as it confirms what the Bible prophesied about 2,000 years ago. Revelation 13 verse 17 reads, "And that no one can buy or sell except a person having the mark, the name of the wild beast, or the number of its name." And you guys know the number. I won't dignify it with a response. Right. Anyway, Big Brother's coming for your wallets. And Amazon Go going paperless and cashless is our discussion. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I am kind of shocked because it actually happened to me the other day. I'd gone into a store and there was a sign outside the store that says, as of October 22nd, we will only accept debit cards, credit cards, and gift cards. Right. So I walked in and I'm like, "You mean you're not taking cash?" He's like, "No, we're not going to take cash anymore." So always they have this predisposed answer to give you. It's safer. It's safer. No money on the premises. Theft won't happen, with employees and all this other stuff. So, that's always the go-to answers to make you feel good about why it's convenient. It's always about convenience, people. You already have Apple Pay. That's how they get you. Because we're so lazy.
Now, yes. Is it more convenient? Absolutely. Is it safer? If you're working retail, dealing with that cash, yes, it is dangerous, especially now, because people are so bold.
Absolutely.
Before it used to be, don't work too late at night, always the buddy system, and now
Somebody
they just don't.
They don't care.
They don't care. It doesn't matter who you're with, where you're at. Oops, I'm sorry. This is Texas, and so this is open carry. Yet that hasn't stopped anybody, and there's been plenty of criminals who have experienced open carry law here.
Yeah, I'm just surprised at how we've gone from the last 3,000 years to cowrie shells. To now not having any form of currency at all. So in other words, what I'm saying, guys, is for a couple of millennials, we had currency. It was this, of course, but we had a form of currency. Kings used to be paid by 30 million cowrie shells.
Right.
Yeah, so and they would trade and buy and do all those things. So now, here we are 3,000 years later, and now we're not going to have any form of currency at all after having it all of creation, just about.
Right.
It's just scary to actually realize that we're going there. But the Amazon store, like I said, that opened originally in Seattle, is a store where you walk in and you have your, you put the app on your phone, you put your phone away, and then you walk through the store and you pick up the items that you want. And if you pick up an item off the shelf and you decide, no, I really don't want that, and you put it back, then it takes it out of your cart. So it's like a virtual cart. Yeah, this is just too
so
much.
freaky.
It's too
I can't,
much.
I can't
you know?
do it.
It's too much for me. I'd much rather handle cash. I'd rather deal with people. I'd just rather just have that interaction. But the world is leaning us towards no social interaction. We are meant to be communal and be together. You know, they're ruling all that out. They're making everyone, in my mind, homophobic. You know, don't leave your house. You can order your food. You can order your drinks. You can order your cars.
You don't know
you can order
anyone.
anything you want.
Well, think about it. If you don't know anyone, you won't notice when anyone's gone.
That's it. You know, it's like they're setting up a perpetuation of loneliness. And I told you guys years ago. I mean,
And
a couple
you're
years
easier
ago.
to brainwash that way.
Absolutely.
Think
Because
about it. Patients who start to get Alzheimer's, you know, people start leaving them alone, or they're feeling more and more secluded, and
They go into their own.
Right, that actually, you know, makes the condition worse. It makes it, you know, rapidly decline.
Yeah, because
you
you're
know?
not interacting. You're not.
Yeah, you're supposed to keep your
relating.
brain sharp.
You have to
You're
be
supposed to
communal.
feel all that.
Right. We've just lost all of the abilities to just care about other people. You know, again, I just think it's sad that we're going there, and everybody thinks it's about convenience. Until you have a world that's actually going to turn into the Hunger Games and the Purge and all these other movies,
Right.
all these other movies that you guys see, thinking that it's your entertainment. It is not.
Minority Report. I
It is
can't
not.
stress that enough. Minority Report. People read it. I mean, and read it. Well,
Manchurian-
yeah, read it.
Yeah, all of that.
Watch the movie Manchurian Candidate. Absolutely.
All of these things. are not there.
1984.
That's it. None of these things are there for your entertainment. It's there to, you know, TV and movies will do, and phones and computers does one main thing, and that is to program.
Right.
They
Absolutely.
program you with this. And so once programmed, you know, not everybody is of a sound mind.
Mm-hmm.
So some people looking at that, or whatever it is that's on the movie or Purging, or whatever these shows are, they'll go out and practice that.
Oh, absolutely. That's funny you said that, because in the office today, I was actually, my coworkers and I were talking and made that comment. One of them made a comment about getting the movie Slender Man on their phone.
Oh, that's okay.
You know, so
Mhm.
and then that's how we got into the conversation of, oh yeah, it was based off a true story, and then those girls who
These
murdered,
teenage girls.
you know,
Mhm.
murdered their
Their
classmate
girlfriend. Uh-huh.
over the movie, and you know, for Slender Man. So that's so funny you said that. But
Yeah,
we were
well,
just talking about that.
again, this is where we're headed, but nobody's thinking about this. And as I say, you don't have to think about it, but just be aware that it's going to happen. And you can either be aware, make provisions to do whatever that requires for you and your family, or you can just sit home and wait till you have martial law.
Right.
You can't go outside. You can't do anything.
Right. Really quickly, thank you everyone who's already following along with us on our live Facebook feed. Shout out to everyone who's also checked in. Evelyn, Adi, Alejandro, my mom. Hi, Mom. Ray,
Mom.
shout out to you, Ray. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And also to LaShonda. Give us a call here at the studio, 713-789-0096. You know, tell us about your experiences with, you know, going cashless, or maybe, you know, what your transition was like. Because I know for the longest time, I refused to do anything online.
I know for a long
I
time we
was
all
still
did,
writing
but
checks. I was still
but then the
mailing
convenience,
stamps.
again, they get you on the convenience. This is why I keep stressing that
Well,
word.
Even if it's not convenient, they kind of force it
They
on
make
you.
you. They make-
because
well-
they make it inconvenient
They do.
for you to continue to do it the other way.
They did
But-
the same thing years ago, a couple of years back, with LED lights. You couldn't buy the other light bulbs. You had
Right.
to, you had to make the switch over. And I think years ago also they did the same thing with TV. If
Right.
you didn't have cable, then I don't like being controlled like that. Like
Right.
most people, at least what I can control is myself and my purse strings. But more importantly, I don't like for somebody manipulating me and forcing me to do something that is totally against what I want to do. So,
Right.
am I going to break now? Okay then, guys, we'll be right back. We have to go to break, so stay right there.
Yeah, you won't.
Huh?
You won't. Don't worry about it. You won't.
Well, I don't know if we will because I couldn't see it on that.
Oh yeah, I'm bad. Let me
Okay.
Back to bar test.
Oh, but you see, okay.
listening to for
So you probably have more
Share your
detail
opinion by
on
calling
and more story in that paper.
I think-
713-789-2096.
yes, I think so, yes.
So we
Stay
can kind of-
tuned. Reading a good book is intimate self-indulgence. Hi, this is Silky Smooth with the All About You show. I recommend Key Ingredients to Loving Yourself, Nourishment from the Inside Out by Gloria Davis Armstrong. Each page is like a
There you go.
pilgrimage to self-discovery. Unlock your ingredients to loving yourself more. This book will stimulate your senses. Begin your journey to self-love today by visiting keys2loveself.com and place your order. That's keys2loveself.com.
Life is so complex today. Are you having trouble understanding what's going on in your world? Tune in today to get focused on today's world. Join me every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Vision Light Radio and get some abilities needed to deal with today's problems. This is Perspectives. I'm your host,
I can't
Marvin Johnson. I've got my perspective.
You know, people with this little yellow piece of paper.
We're Chopstick Kitchen Kids Edition. Let's get our mission to get kids off the couch and
I
into
didn't see
the
you.
kitchen.
30 seconds.
Of the rainbow.
I'm Chase.
I'm Chance. I'm Chastity.
I
And
wanna do
I'm
that.
Chandler.
And you're tuned
Just
in
had a
to
few
the
questions.
bridge.
Stay tuned.
15 seconds.
I'm very ready.
It grows anyway. It didn't fly on the
I'm
wall.
recording.
What are you looking for?
A little sticky pad. That's okay. It didn't stick wherever it is. That's all I know.
It fell.
It
Just
fell.
one
It didn't
job.
stick. That's all I know. Okay.
You have one job.
Thank you guys, and we are back. You're listening to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about, and often and sometimes some things you don't. So I am here as your host, OMG, along with my co-host.
Daydream.
Okay, so guys, we're talking about people-less to cashless. Again, I think this is a precursor to the sign of the beast. If you read anything about your Bible and you know end times and all this is, it pretty much states, I think it's in 2 Peter or something, where it says, you'll have scoffers and people will be walking into their own lust. All of these things that the Bible has given us warning of is actually coming into fruition. But what concerns me is that it's happening awfully quickly.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know how we went from zero
And here's-
information
Right.
to now a lot.
And here it is. Okay, it says right here, beast number 2. Okay, what is the mark of the beast? Right. So beast number 2 who caused the image of beast number 1 to be constructed, has issued an order that everyone, small or great, rich or poor, free or slaves, be given a mark on their right hand or in their forehead. So RFID chip.
That's what I mentioned.
Because we're exactly those companies who have already allowed their employees
Oh, absolutely.
to be microchipped and have encouraged them. You know, so the same thing that you do with your dog and your cat.
Absolutely.
That same microchip is the same thing that they're talking about for people.
It will go in between your thumb and your forefinger. I think I said that it's going to go right in here, and it's very small, and
Right.
it's going to be just under the skin. And this is how they're going to lead you into, oh, you don't need your phone. You know, just get
Right.
your RFID, which is radio frequency identification. Just have that and just scan and go on by. So we are so gullible. We are so
Right, because it's
lazy.
already on your
here.
yeah, it's already on your passport.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we talked about license.
That's why they give you that protective sleeve.
Oh yeah.
They're,
You know,
they don't want you to keep it all nice and pretty. I mean,
and then
There's
the
a
chip
reason
on
why
the
that.
credit card. I hate that.
Oh, that
I
was
didn't
so
like
annoying.
that.
You couldn't bank. You can't bank
You can't
without
do
it.
any. They are making you make
Forcing
changes, whether you
And
choose to or
remember,
not.
they used to tell you before when you would use your debit card or checking card to always hit credit. You never
Never
want to
use
put in
the-
your PIN.
Okay.
Okay, and now what are they doing? Because of that chip, they are forcing. Oh, it's safer for you to use your PIN. Since when?
You know it's not. It's
Since
just,
when?
I just hate
So
to be lied
keep
to.
that chip in mind. And this continues. It says during this 42-month period, a person without the name of the beast or the number of his name will not be able to buy or sell. Revelations 13:18 says, quote, "The number is that of a man, and his number is."
We know what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't give presents.
So,
you know.
what does that mean? A cashless society. Those who refuse the mark, the chip, will not be able to buy groceries, gas, medicine, absolutely nothing. You will not be able to function.
Well, see, I don't like being put in a position where I don't have a choice. I like options. I like choices. So to me, if you
At least make an effort.
give me something so that I
You
can
know,
work with feeling
finesse
independent.
it.
So I can feel
You know,
independent.
put some finesse into it.
They-
So at least
It's
make
in
me
your face.
feel
It's in
as
your
though
face.
I have a
had some
choice.
control.
I have
You
some
have
sort
none.
of control. Continue to manipulate me that way, but no.
You have none. We'd like to hear what you guys think about this because many of you may have already run into the cashless establishments. Because as I mentioned to some people a few days ago, they were telling me that a lot of the malls, the food courts in the mall are all cashless now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So get ready to have that.
Well, we've seen where various fast food chains have already started using the kiosks. You know, and of course they'll have the apps. You know, order ahead.
The pizza place. You go in.
You know,
you have your
certain fast food hamburger place that they would do. They, you know, you've seen that everywhere. That they already implemented
Yeah,
that. Order the kiosk. Well, you'll see. Initially, you started seeing some of them stating that they had, you know, the kiosk available, but
it's. I mean,
they start off. They lure us in by stating that
it doesn't
it's
take
convenient.
much to lure us in because we're
The
so
phone's
gullible,
convenient.
so
That's why
mindless.
8 and 7 and 5-year-olds need phones now because you be safe. You know where your kid is at. Well, how would you not know where your toddler is at? Why wouldn't you know?
I know. See, it's a different world because when we grew up, I remember at the end of the evening, which was 11 o'clock or so, the TV would go snowy,
Right.
and then they'd come on and ask, "It's 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where your children are?" You know, parents back then had to be a little bit more responsible.
A
Now,
little bit more.
wait,
a lot more
responsible
yeah.
than they are now.
And also to keep going back to the mark of the beast, the chip. Keep in mind, if you can't buy or sell because you don't have the mark of the beast, that also means that you can't earn.
Okay?
Because without that, there will be no banks or places to store earned wealth because everything is in that chip.
It's an insatiable need to know everything about you, to just have you mindless, like sheeple. Don't think.
Right.
You just turn everything over, and and this sounds like some global, effort to minimize everybody's thinking capacity. And I think they've been successful in doing that. Like I said, there are a lot of different things leading towards letting you know that you're near end times. But I just noticed that it seems as though, we talked about AI a year ago. We also talked about it a couple of months ago, and we also talked about it as recent as a couple of weeks ago regarding the robotic brothel.
Correct.
Now all of a sudden you're seeing all these ads, and now it's becoming more prolific, and you're hearing it. They're getting you. They prepared you early, so now it won't be a complete shock, and you won't be desensitized all the way. You are now hearing Microsoft AI, and these dolls that are coming up with AI. Everything is now AI, and as I've mentioned before, we have been, and this is AI. Because Amazon, I think it's somewhere in one of these documents that I have that, they have cameras all up in the ceiling, on the shelves, face recognition, fingerprint recognition, which we all do with this right here.
Right.
This
For
iPhone.
those who
we
weren't
do
smart
this right
enough-
here every day. We just give. I'm included, because of convenience, but I am still privy to what the hell all this means.
Right, but it's not even just because out of convenience. At this point, it's necessity.
Yeah,
We allowed them
yeah.
to make it to where it's necessity. We have no choice. You can't function without some sort of debit card. You can't function without some sort of phone, mobile device.
That's
okay, because even the old technology, a lot of with the old flip phones that are a heck of a lot safer.
I like those actually because I wasn't concerned about pictures, and social media wasn't there then, and so it was none of those things. I know you don't have to worry about all these things, but now they've opened everything up, and there's some place in the Bible. I think it's going to be, naturally, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 4 already talks about love of self. Man being openly homosexual now, and you can do this from the pulpit. All the things that were taboo before, men become lovers of themselves, and blasphemous and all this other stuff. All these things are actually happening, along with you hate God, and you good is now, you prefer evil to good, you hate everything, everyone, no ability to reason and work things out. Everybody's in their own zone. And I think the more you are detached from society, the more you are relinquished from any responsibilities to interact, it's going to be cold-blooded because nobody's going to have any emotions about anything.
No, not
It's
at all.
going to be over.
Compassion's gone.
All that's gone. Yeah. And so we really just need to get to a point where you try to stay connected, because with the onset of all of this, we're disconnecting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're fully disconnecting from each other. And also, I think it's Daniel chapter 12, verse 4, speaks of, the type of knowledge that we have now,
Mhm.
with, and also part of it is being able to go to and fro. Years ago, you would go to the other side of the earth, but you couldn't come back. Now you can have a flight, 36 hours, 40 some hours, and you can go around the world and come back. So the
Right.
Bible speaks of you'll be able to go to and fro, and more importantly, you will have knowledge, extreme knowledge like what we have now.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not surprised by this because I believe technology has been around long before we've been introduced to it. This is not all just coming in.
Absolutely. The technology that is out now is 50 years
Yes.
behind what they actually have
Right.
and what they're keeping secret. Because think about it. Asia, look at all the technology. We were talking about this off air.
Mm-hmm.
Asia always has, it gets gets trickled into the technology first, and then it starts making its way to the Western.
That's right. Because
Hemisphere.
again, it was in 2010 that Asia and India and some of these other developed countries
Mhm.
were practicing cashless
Right.
society. So they've perfected it. And what Bill Gates has said, and what I said in this report is the fact that the framework is already set. They've got everything done. All they're gonna do now is just usher it in. And I told y'all years ago when we did a show on New World Order, this is now the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is airwaves. And we know who the prince of the air is.
Right.
Oh, you need to know.
Right, and for those of you, really quickly, for those of you who were not fortunate enough to catch those, some of these past episodes that we're talking about,
Yeah.
you can catch those on our live Facebook feeds. You can always go back and look at our videos on there. And of course, go to our website at www.allaboutyoushow.info. That's all about you, the letter U, show.info. And we post our episodes on there,
Yeah.
so you can always go back and look at those to see what it is that we're referencing. And also thank you again to everyone who has been checking in and watching along with us on our Facebook feed. Selena Bournes,
Hey, Selena.
Richard, and of course a friend of the show, Renee. How you doing,
Hey,
Renee?
Renee. We always appreciate your support. We really do. Because, again, what we're bringing to you is probably what you will not hear. As I mentioned earlier, we talk about the things that some of you think about. And a lot of the things you don't give thought to, but we have time. So we give thought just for you. But it's just really, the Amazon store. I think I'm going to be freaked out with that.
But see, we started making this really easy because Snapchat.
We did. Well, I don't know about that. I don't do any of that.
Snapchat, all these filters and everything else that y'all have been using.
See, I don't know about any of that. What is that?
Snapchat is another social media thing. You can take pictures, and the advantage to that is that they disappear within seconds, or unless you put it on a loop.
But why do you have to have them?
Well, you less data on your phone because it's just pictures you want to show people or really quickly, but you don't actually want to keep them. Because you need help cheating. That's what a lot of people use it for. You need help with your criminal activity. But I mean, everything is still followed. So it became really cute. Oh, let me have these filters. I'm a cute little bunny. I have this little snow hat. I'm gonna make this little video. That's all facial recognition. And I'll admit it, when it first came out with Snapchat, I was all, oh, this is fun. And so I realized, wait a minute, it's facial recognition.
You have to think. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention. And these iPhones.
And then what happened? Then it was,
your
fingerprint on the phone. They already have your prints. Why do
everything.
they need them on everything else? Why do they need it on an electronic device that we have been told
Because
over
they've
and
already
over
prepared us to be forced to be
for
in
many years that
the
no
world
matter
that we're
what
going
you
in.
put into this
It is
electronic
stored.
device, it's stored. No
It's
matter
stored.
what they say, you can never get rid of it. So now you just put your scanned face and your fingerprints.
And they also
into
have
this.
they also have iris ID, where you can go in some of these buildings and you put your iris.
Oh yeah, the retina.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we talked about that.
Yeah, they have so much stuff.
In Mexico,
that we
when they
think
get
is
their
exciting.
passports, it's already in play. They get a retina scan. That's part of their passport process.
They saw this on TV and sci-fi, thinking it was. Look at that! This is real.
Right.
Then when you saw it, it was real then.
Right.
Just not real to us.
Right.
But it was real then. You
Right.
know? And I just putting your facial recognition, all that stuff. We are connected to them, but not to each other.
Correct.
So whomever it is on the other end of this elite
They.
situation, the elusive they got a lot of power, and they're more connected to us and each other, and the filters and the Snapchat and the social medias. They're connected. We're not.
Right.
So
They have all the secrets. They just make it convenient. That they have Alexa in your home and you're loving it. The Echo, the
and she's
Dot, or
listening to
whatever.
everything.
Oh, just
I was
yesterday.
going to tell you about mine.
I was so
I unplugged
mad.
her. She got unplugged.
Oh,
Oh,
I
she
always
got-
unplugged
she
her.
got fully
I was
unplugged
so
yesterday.
mad because I didn't realize that the BI was plugged in.
Well, now she
Until
started
she went
advertise.
off.
Yeah, she started to talk.
I was on the phone.
That's the same
Well,
way
actually, I was on the phone having a conversation. I had gone outside to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that my friend had it plugged up for their pool. I thought it was powered off.
Right.
You know, I
Oh, she
could've
waits-
sworn it was
she waits
unplugged.
and lay low in the
right.
cut.
So I'm
She
on the
hears
phone having a private conversation, and then out of nowhere, I just hear her tone. It doesn't light up.
I know.
Okay, now it's
I was
not
gonna
lighting
say the
up
same
anymore.
thing. Okay, I was gonna tell you the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's not lighting up anymore. It gave the tone, and I was like, "What?" I could have sworn it was turned like
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was so plugged into the outlets. I was so mad
Well,
and
you know-
unplugged and almost threw
Yeah,
it.
I was sitting on the sofa the other day, last night, and I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden she responds, "I didn't hear you." I was like, "Well, hell, I didn't." say
'Cause I wasn't
anything. I wasn't
talking
talking.
to you.
No lights, and then she started advertising.
Yeah.
Oh, I really unplugged her.
See,
then.
things like that remind me of that part if with Erin Brockovich when she's in the office and there's that busybody coworker of hers, and then she finally gets frustrated and turns around. No one's talking to you.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's what
That's
you
exactly
wanna
how I
say.
feel with
Yeah.
Alexa.
So all of these little things, and even, I'm in real estate, so they are building a lot of smart homes. And we talked about smart homes. We had a
Yes.
guy come in.
And I thought
to
they were
talk
just
about-
so cool, and I still think they're really cool, but they kind of freak me out.
Yeah, it's going to freak you out because, basically you have no privacy from the time that you have the doorbell, the video doorbell,
Right.
to Amazon and all these people wanting to come into your house and drop your packages off. Hell no. I don't
Right.
need you coming to my house dropping my packages off.
Right.
Just like Facebook wanted you to send all of your nude pictures to them. Remember that?
Yes.
So that they could make sure that
and all the
a
retarded people.
a lover that you no longer are with can expose you later. But they have all of this. And it's like, I know they have devices that, I can be here talking, somebody could be across the street around the corner and hear our conversation. Not necessarily being on the airwaves, but just in general. They have devices that can do all of this.
Space can hear our
Absolutely.
conversations.
And like I said, this is the age of Aquarius. Basically what that is saying, we did a show on this two years or so back, that we were currently, because an era lasts 2,000 years. We have been in the Piscean era for quite some time. And the Piscean era, as you know, is a fish. The fish represents religion.
Mhm.
All that's gone. People are more atheist and agnostic now than ever before. So
Right.
basically that's telling you that the Piscean era is gone. And once we started to get the internet,
Oh, and Scientologists too.
yeah, all of this information, then all of a sudden we're in the age of Aquarius, folks, which has nothing to do with water. People think Aquarius has to do with like aquarium.
It's an
No,
illusion.
it is about water. It is about nanotechnology. It is about, like I said, the airwaves, and we know who printed the
Free flow.
airwaves. So we've just been strategically placed in position to follow the masses. And see, I'm on that road going back this way where everybody's on the wide road going that way. Because again, I don't know what it represents to know. It is not paranoia. Get that straight and clear.
Right,
It
absolutely.
is a heightened awareness.
Right. And it's not crazy talk.
And it's not
I
crazy
always
talk.
get that look like, oh,
I'll
she
tell
starts
people in a
with
minute,
the
you don't have
crazy
to take
talk.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, it is heightened awareness, and it's up to you just how heightened your awareness becomes. But we're giving it to you. So not just us, you're going to see it more and more. You
Right.
know? And so, once they get a store in Houston, and Houston's going to get an Amazon Go in a minute.
Absolutely.
Very quickly. And to just walk through and have all these cameras, and I remember years ago in England, they had cameras there where you stop. Let's just say I'm in the store and I drop this paper clip. You'll hear a voice. Pick that clip up. Seriously.
Yeah.
And you're looking around like, where the hell? So everything has been about watching you, even from street lights. The camera's there. The camera's...
Absolutely. It's for safety,
It's,
to
you
better
know-
identify. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Everything works both ways, people. The same way that they want to keep an eye on you for safety is the same reason why they want to keep an eye on you for, a restriction for confinement.
Amazon, as you know, Amazon owns Whole Foods, but anyway, it says here that a futuristic grab and go market represents a test of new technology that could soon spread nationwide as Amazon and other grocery giants seek to win business from shoppers craving selections, ease, and speed. Why are we going so fast? Where the hell are we going? I mean, it's like everything is just in a hurry. I'm driving from Conroe some days.
We are quickly getting to
We're
our
quickly-
destruction is what we
that's
are.
exactly what we're
That's
doing.
where we're going.
I mean, like I said, I can be on the freeway on 45 coming back from Conroe, and I can assure you there's always somebody out there that's driving 90. I'm doing 70, 75, or 80. Somebody else is zooming past me.
You looking at you like you're the
Yeah,
turtle.
like get over. And I'm like, what the heck? So, you know, they're speeding, they're darting in and out of lanes, you know, and I'm like, where are we going? And then as soon as I get to an exit, this person is just now in front of me getting ready to take the exact same exit after all that drama. You know, it's like, what the hell? I just don't get it. But, you know, guys, again, you're going to have all these sandwiches, all this pre-made food, everything.
See, and I don't trust that.
Yeah, you know how I feel about all that.
Again, the convenience of food. Okay, yes, the lazy girl in me
Yes.
is like, oh, that's awesome, man. That food looks good. It smells delicious. You know, I'm always taking bite of the samples. But they are making it.
Yeah, and
They are making my food.
Yeah,
So it works the same way as what they're doing with food now. Everything that's been pumped into it in the soil.
it's not real.
It's not real food. I can't trust it.
One of my friends
You know?
from back east called me today and said something about people, and we talked about this before, cannibalism, and that'll be a whole nother show.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
you know about how people in China were chopping up people.
Mhm.
I was like, what are y'all shocked by? I've already told you this. We talked
And-
about this before.
Right. It's not just in China.
It's not just in China, you know.
Look at your celebrities.
They just don't get it. You know,
Mhm.
all of this appears to be entertainment. And for those that are just blindly sitting in front of the TV, it probably is.
Mhm.
But for those people that are, you know, self-thinkers and that are
Those
driven,
who are not sheeple.
those who are not sheeple, that are not asleep, kind of see through it. But, you know, again, it doesn't matter until the masses see it and then just shut it down. But as long as we continue to participate, you know, because again, a lot of people, I think we had a response from someone earlier today that felt that people-less and cashless equals efficiency.
Right.
I was like,
Absolutely.
yeah, what the heck? Efficiency. And so, you know, the bottom line is, it is efficient. And see, this is how they're going to get you again with convenience. We have to stop being so mentally lazy,
Mhm.
you know, and physically lazy. We don't want to do anything. It's
We need to go back to doing for ourselves and back to thinking for ourselves.
I don't know that everybody always did think for themselves. It's just that,
Well,
I've always
we
been
did
one.
more in the past
yeah, because, yeah,
than what we are now. Now it's there's a parody video about an interview with the millennial.
okay. Wow, that's
And it's
interesting.
about how, you know, just making fun of, oh, you know, 8 o'clock, you know, show up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're like, what, in the morning? Like, you know, that doesn't work for me. I have to check this, I have to do that. And, you know, so 10:45, like, I don't even get to Starbucks until 10. So 10:45 works for me. You know, letting them know what they're going to do. But also, you know,
yeah, they're scared.
asking them, you know, if they have the ability to research data and things that they need. And she scoffed at him and was just like, there's Siri.
That's what I told you.
Just
the
ask
year,
Siri. Yeah.
Hey, the Bible speaks of scoffers. You know,
I
you
have,
just
that's another one I have
yeah, go ahead.
in disabled on my phone. I don't,
Yeah, it's a little too much. You know, it depends on how much engaged you want to be. Now, if you want to be engaged to do all this, because they have had you know, one time you couldn't get stores to deliver. You couldn't pay them to deliver. Now, Walmart, everybody's
Not
delivering.
since the days of when, you know, the milkman stopped delivering.
Okay. You know, and now all of a sudden everybody's delivering. Panera's delivering and stores around the corner delivering. Why? You know, I don't understand why we
Because it makes it easier for them to find us.
easy for them, but it also makes it easier.
Yeah, it's
for the
like,
people
okay,
that are-
instead of
that are
luring
monitoring.
us to them, they are gonna
Bring everything
they're
to
gonna
us.
make us bring them to ourselves.
They're going to make us homophobic. We will not be leaving our houses soon.
Yeah, you don't even have to grocery shop
You don't have
by
to do
yourself
any of that.
anymore.
You know, so it's kind of
You
like I
got
said. You can-
curbside delivery,
You absolutely do.
all that good
Your
stuff.
alcohol can be delivered. Your food can be delivered. Your cars can be delivered. What is it? That little
The car vending,
car vending machine. All of
type
that.
thing.
Yeah, well, you know, and the young people think it's awesome.
Yeah, we got a
That's
ninja
my
or
young guy
engineer
over
over here
now.
who's
He's
just
like,
like,
happy.
yeah,
And
thumbs
he
up.
thinks it's great, you know. But for me, let me pick out my car. Let me go look through it, walk through it. I don't need a big coin. And there you go again. Bitcoins, I guess, is going to be a big issue with the cashless.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Well,
yeah.
that's why they created
Yeah,
Bitcoin. All of a
I
sudden, it
know.
came out of nowhere.
And
Oh,
then
this is the next big thing. Said who?
Okay.
Them, because that's how they marketed it.
That's exactly how they do it. And we accept everything. You know, it wasn't until I got to graduate school that I realized, and I got afraid, and this was in the 80s. I got afraid once I realized the power and the pervasiveness of the media, the movies, the TV. Because, you know, back then they were still doing studies as to whether or not children watching TV actually affected them. Now, as a teacher, we all said it's programming. That's what it's called, programming, and that's what it's doing. You have subliminal seduction. You have all these different things, and now they're picking at the little children's brains now. Because my grandson's included at 3. He's got tablets. I didn't say tablet. He has tablets. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's already being taught to have his mind just actively going all the time.
Right.
And more importantly, not to know anything about delayed gratification.
See,
you gotta get it now. It ain't happening. It's too
stimulation,
much.
Right? See, and with us, with my niece, I have been very adamant about her time in front of the computer.
You have to.
What technology she's using, how early we introduced it to her, and it was mainly because school. They started, you know, this program, things. So it's like, okay, I didn't want her to be ignorant
Not
to
yet,
it,
but you don't want her to,
you know, and I didn't want it to be something completely unknown to her. I didn't want it just forced in her face and forced down her throat and just everywhere. You know what I mean?
It's done now, whether you want it or not.
Right. So we can only do what we can, but that's why at home we do regulate. My mom's, you know, watching how much time she spends per day, per week, on any sort of device, what she's watching on there, where she's at when she's, you know, because everything is just right there in front of us.
My grandson now is able to actually, outside of using his tablets, he gets on the pewter. That's what he calls the desktop Apple computer that my daughter and my son-in-law has. And so when I come in, I'm ready to do grandma duty. He's like, "No, Grandy, later on the pewter."
Oh, he's
Get off the computer, right? You know, you're on the computer, and I'm like, we need to go read. You know, you need to do some of these things. You have, and I get on my daughter sometimes because, you know, you're busy. You come in, you got to get yourself straight. You got to get dinner going. You got to do homework and help sit down and do flashcards and stuff with him. But he's interested in that computer. He puts puzzles and stuff together. Quite the good strong thinker, but he gets lost in that pewter.
Right.
That pewter just.
Yeah, see, it's if it's not educational in some fashion,
it's
real limited on what
so
she's on there. Yeah, but it's like, okay, now you have fun playing with the puzzle on the computer, you know, playing your little Tetris game or whatever. Here's an actual puzzle.
Okay.
With pieces you can touch.
Do that, yeah.
Let's play with this over here.
He has good eye-hand coordination, you know, because all those things come with when he plays these games or something when he can move everything, and you have to do it just in time before the guy falls off the cliff, and you got to make him turn right. All these things. I mean, so he's really good at it because I tried to play it with him the other day, and I took the guy over the cliff a couple times. Well, I couldn't get it. I couldn't move my hands fast enough to, you know, and looking at it. So, you know, I'm sure it serves some good purpose, but again, at 3 years old, going into school and having to have these things, it's going to make it hard for these kids to function. I mean, they're going to have everything at their fingertips, but it's going to be frightening. You know?
Right.
So, you want to take us a break?
Sure. Okay. We'll be back right after this short break. And please don't forget to give us a call at the studio, 713-789-0096. You can also text us at 833-644-2638. That's 833-OMG-AND-U. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to mention the smart homes.
Oh, yeah. You have to. I mean, because everybody, they want them, but people are still afraid of them. But they want them. What the hell are you paying for?
I mean,
they're very expensive.
It's this show called, have you seen this show called Black Mirror? It's like Twilight Zone, but like with like future technology and stuff like that. They talk about that, and then like Future Home is like a part of that. It's a part of that little segment.
It's all tied together. And pretty soon, like I said, they'll be able to lock you in. I'm talking about that too.
Yeah, that's what. Like, so they like, I already know they've been already had all some of this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Cause I remember like years ago, me and boys talking about how like they were even already doing the barcode stuff and everything like that, the chips and stuff.
That's exactly right.
Friday evening from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
As we discuss the Word of God and a variety of topics on religion,
Social,
economic,
cultural,
relational, and our favorite, marriage and the family.
Tune in and join us for a
Heart-to-heart conversation.
Reading a good book is Intimate Self-Indulgence. Hi, this is Silky Smooth with the All About You show. I recommend Key Ingredients to Loving Yourself, Nourishment from the Inside Out by Gloria Davis Armstrong. Each page is like a pilgrimage to self-discovery. Unlock your ingredients to loving yourself more. This book will stimulate your senses. Begin your journey to self-love today by visiting keys2loveself.com and place your order. That's keys2loveself.com.
We're Couch to Kitchen Kids Edition, and we're on a mission to get kids off the couch and into the kitchen, bringing from the colors of the rainbow.
I'm Chase.
I'm Shanna. I'm Cassidy. And I'm Chandler.
And you're tuned in to The Bridge.
Stay tuned.
You know, guys, welcome back. We're talking about peopleless and cashless, and we were talking about basically the mark of the beast. I mean, quite a few things that's all intertwined, along with future homes. You know, the smart homes that we spoke of earlier. We were talking to our engineer, and he is fully aware of that. You know, because I think there was some show you mentioned, Black Mirror. Is that the name of it? At any rate, you know, they're tying all this in with being able to monitor you. You know, you already got Alexa going. You got Echo upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your, and this is the part that scared me years ago in graduate
Siri.
school.
They started with
And
Siri.
Siri, and we were told in graduate school. This was long before. Gosh, it's in the 80s. But like I said, only doctors had pagers back then. But they showed Bluetooth in the 80s, and they showed SUVs and how people would be going towards that. But they also said, and this stuck with me. That's right. That's right. It's what stuck with me is when the professor said in class, future will come when you will be watching TV and TV will be watching you.
It already is. Got the Apple
And
TV,
it is.
Samsung.
All
Google.
that, you know, and so I think that's what scared me, coupled with the fact that, you know, how the news is now, and that's been fake for quite some time. We think all the stuff that we think is one way, it's totally the opposite way.
Right. Well, think about the Batman movies. Which one was it? The one that had the Riddler in it and Two-Face?
Mm-hmm.
So they had that's what they had. If y'all remember that part, that's how they were sucking people's brainwaves into this huge machine. It's in Batman. Like, it's there. It's exactly what they're doing now.
Right now. But see, all of that stuff is a precursor. I remember as a young child watching Tarzan. The white people always came driving a Range Rover. But they had telephones. They had telephones in the jungle.
Big old satellite phone.
Yeah, you know, and I've also seen on a Dennis to Menace, which came out in 1959.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis's father was in a family show, and Dennis was in some play or something. His mom and dad is there. The phone goes off. He gets up and answers he answers the phone and walks out of the room. This is in 1959.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, all of this stuff, including the internet, including the cell phone, has always been a part of international network.
Right. They've just
That's
they
what
were more
internet
subtle
means,
with it.
International network. So again, they introduce it to you slowly, so you can get excited about it, and then they start doing it in movies, and you really get elated about it.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, you realize it's actually happening in your life, and this is where we are now. And we're moving faster and faster.
Absolutely. So the full text to what we were talking about when you mentioned to someone, they said, well, you know, a cashless society is efficient, right? So they said, in addition to efficiency, cashless and peopleless societies are safer for merchants and customers. It's also easier to manage budgets because you know where you spent money. Downside to cashless is poor people don't have bank accounts. So the financial system is a barrier to progress the poor, while cash is a facilitator for them.
Absolutely, but it says
It's just another
in the
way to
next
keep,
couple of years,
keep
2
people
billion people who don't have accounts will have to have accounts. So what do you do when you see homeless people? We can't even give them cash. What, give them a debit card when we drive up?
Oh,
debit card
I'm real selective.
Well, you know, I
get
it.
it.
Be on drugs.
When
I
it's not
don't
in my
care.
heart, I'm not gonna just do it because it looks better. No,
I don't care
I'm
about
very
that.
cynical with that stuff. I'm like,
Well, you
nah.
know, I know I've heard stories about the panhandlers and
Right.
and they leave the corner and they fight for corners,
Oh.
for that sort of, and then they go get in their Cadillacs and all this other stuff. But that's not my, if you say you're hungry, I'm going to give you some money to get something to eat. Then you can buy drugs, you can do whatever you want with it. I
Right,
don't
your heart
know.
was in the right place.
I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do, and the Bible does speak of if you have it to give, you should give it. You don't say come back tomorrow. I'll give it
Right,
to you later.
right.
You
See, and
know.
I the same thing. I have one of my buddies who was stationed overseas at the time. He said the same thing. He felt bad for the kids that were begging, and whenever he had it or whenever he felt it, he'd go ahead and just give it to them. And one of his guides was like, all they're gonna do is just drink and get high with that. And he said, maybe so, but you never know.
I did my part.
He goes, I did it with the best intentions.
That's it.
So he goes, I can't just not, because you never know. One of them
Somebody
might
may
actually
really
be
be
hungry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've actually given food, if I've
I've done that plenty of
yeah,
times. I have no
absolutely.
problem with doing that, but actual cash, I'm too cynical for that.
Well, you won't be able to give them cash.
I've
pretty
seen
soon.
too much.
So it's
Yeah.
gonna be over. But the store that's coming to us pretty soon, I'm sure, is is Amazon Go. It says that the store relies on a vast and sophisticated data gathering operation to transform the shopping experience. The privacy experts worry that Americans may not fully understand what they're giving away in every aisle. I want to say that again. The number one problem for people the store relies on a vast and sophisticated data gathering operation to transform the shopping experience, and privacy experts worry that Americans may not fully understand what they're giving away in every aisle. It's not just the transaction, a law professor speaks, and yada yada yada, but powerful companies like Amazon don't just have what you bought at the grocery store, but they're also connected with and combined with nearly every aspect of your life. And that's what we said.
Absolutely.
Including where people live, what they buy, read, and watch. Shoppers walking into the store can scan their phone on a subway-like station, and it's called a turnstile, connecting their presence in the store as well as their family members or other fellow shoppers with their Amazon profile. This is really serious, and it says here that the boxy black cameras in the ceiling don't have the look of classic surveillance cameras, a benefit, some said, given that hundreds of them blanket the 1,800 square foot space, but they operate in a similar way, tracking shoppers' movements and what items they pick up and put back. So every move that you're making is being monitored, and so the store cameras include infrared sensors, but the company says it does not employ facial recognition. Come on, really? Are you serious?
Stop.
The store, they said they do not. I hate when they lie. We know you're doing this, and it's called walkout technology. Amazon has not shared details on the methods involved in its just walkout technology, but says it mimics some of the techniques seen in self-driving cars, including machine learning systems that improve over time, as well as computer vision, the image processing technology used in Facebook. See, all of that stuff is connected, and at some point in time, it's going to be, clearly, for those who haven't thought about this or want to think about it, it's going to make you think. You're going to be forced to think about it, because at some point, your life won't be your own, and cash is in decline, and there's a dark side to all of this. But my question becomes, okay, the weather goes bad, the cell towers are gone.
Just like whenever the satellite goes out, there's no cable during terrible weather.
So at least I've always saved cash, and you've heard me say this before. You should always have, I would say, a couple of $1,000s at home. Well, hell, they're telling you don't even have that, because it won't matter. So when the towers go out, or if the lights go out, and eventually, like they had the blackout in New York and all these other places, the power will go out at some point because it's planned.
Absolutely.
Bottom line is, what are you going to do then? The
rolling blackouts, people are not.
Yeah, that's serious. That's real too. But that's all, we talked about that too. But the bottom line is, you will not have access to the debit machine, the credit card machine. Your gift card won't matter. So what do you do then? I think the world's just going to be mayhem.
Absolutely, it's going to be panic.
It's going to be chaos on a grand scale. And again,
look how people freak out during natural disasters, hurricanes,
so
and
imagine
floods.
This exponentially.
When there's no electricity, they can't function. I can't use my phone. I can't.
Yeah.
Man, it was nice and peaceful for me. I don't know about you all.
You have to know how to find your
I enjoyed it.
You got to find your peace. And see, people here don't have it because they have been moving so fast. They're not paying attention. Life is moving faster, and they're trying to keep up with it by buying all these new items that has mainly tracking devices. Everything.
It's all tracking devices. Okay, so now you have a vehicle that adjusts to you with your fingerprint when you open it.
Yes.
And so it automatically adjusts all its settings to be more convenient and tailored to you. Okay.
Mattresses, everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything.
BMWs,
everything. Yeah.
BMWs and Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can't function that BMW without utilizing Apple.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's got cameras for everyone. It says, to protect you for the fenders and the safety, surrounding cameras everywhere. No, it was freaky. So my buddy got one, and it is freaky the way it throws up the hologram or the visual up on the number one on the windshield while you're driving. the way it's angled, they have it thrown up there so you can see it almost like a reflection.
That's a little bit
Okay, and then on the screen you have everything, but everything is all synced with Apple. So immediately everything that was going on with his phone just started uploading, and it didn't ask his permission if that's what he wanted to do. It just did it.
Don't have to.
But
that's the sad part. Your permission.
And
is
it's
not
great and
required.
it's cool. It's a nice sweet ride, but
Oh, that's
it
great,
freaked
but
me
there's
out.
a
I was like,
bigger
dude, you have
price.
too much. So
There's
I
a bigger price.
I
to
turned my
pay.
phone off when I got it. I was like, I got to turn my phone off. I can't.
It's a bigger price to pay than we choose to understand. And you know, again, I'm just concerned when natural disaster happens, and somebody just told me the other day that Spain, which has never, I think, ever had a hurricane, just recently had a hurricane. So again, one of the end time prophecies about the weather and all the things that are going to be changing. And
see, I didn't know anything about that. I knew about wherever it was that had the tsunami.
you know, the sinkholes happening in Florida. I mean, you got a lot going on. And it's all, you know, some aversion to how we treat the earth that we live in, and how the elusive they choose to depopulate.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's what we're talking about. However that comes into being. But, you know, I am a cash person, but I guess like anything else, I'll have to be forced to change. But I'd almost be happy with the cowrie shells out here. Just give you 1,000 of those and take my iPhone or whatever.
One of my girlfriends actually told our mutual friend about, hey, look, you know, I don't know about this cash thing and these debit cards, this debit card mess, but you know, I'm willing to barter. I think I'm gonna try to bring that back.
Okay.
She's gonna try to bring back bartering. I was like, for real? I mean, really, it's about the convenience. That's more convenient for me in the service. Hey, I have this, you have that. We each want what the other has. So if it works out, cool.
Yeah.
No inconvenience. No one won over on anybody. It was just cool.
How does it work? Like if you were to go to, you know, gentlemen's clubs, and like I said, you can't give money to the homeless anymore. You know, your kid doesn't pay for his lunch. Your child will be walking around with debit card, cell phone. And
now
all
you're
this
gonna
stuff.
walk in with scanners, and you just scan the entertainer of your choice.
Absolutely. Like I say, just put your hand. Like I said, it's going to be right here between your forehand and your thumb, if you decide to take it. But you know what the Bible says about should you take the sign of the beast? Then
right.
Because
see, even in the clubs, even in the strip clubs, they've gone to some paperless when it comes to paying the girls. Now that it is safety. Yeah. You know, them not having so much cash on them, like more convenient business wise, because now you got men who have to use their credit cards. But for those who don't have cash or didn't pull out enough cash, no problem. We can run your credit card. And of course, the name isn't, you know, Bada Bean Club or anything like that. It's going to say, you know, something hospitality or something, you know, entertainment. It's not going to give off. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. But they'll pay them in dance dollars. And so at the end of the night, the girls can exchange them. It's like, here's the cash. Absolutely.
Then okay. Go back to the comedy show.
Cash out.
That's what I said. But you know, again, it's going to change the way we live. And they've been doing this, well, that we know of since 2010. Mm-hmm. So they've got 8 years of having this mastered, and they're going to usher it in fairly quickly. So be prepared to have somebody else know all of your financial holdings. Right,
and also really quickly, being an H-Town born and raised girl, okay, rodeo season. Drink tickets, people. Your wristbands to get in and out anywhere. They got to scan a pass for you. It's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing. So, but guys, again, like I said, we enjoyed having you on the other end of the mic and being able to hear us. And we hope that you at least pay attention. We can't force you. We can't even tell you how strongly this situation is enveloping us.
Right.
And at the speed of which we can't even tell you, because again, it's going to happen quickly.
Right. It's here, people. It's not coming. It's here.
It's here.
Thank you, everyone who's tuned in. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Continue the conversation. Even if when we're not on the air, hit us up on our website. And please don't forget, we do have our rotating chair that is available. So for those of you who want to join us in the limelight, and especially for those of you who like to talk a big game on social media about why not this and why not that, you're more than welcome to bring it in. So give us a call, give us a text, shoot us an email, hit us up, Facebook, Snapchat, however.
And so we're allowing you the opportunity to be interactive. You can come into the studio, voice your opinion, whether you don't have to agree with us. We don't always agree. We don't always agree, but again, we have the same common goal, which is trying to
bring awareness,
pass on knowledge. Until next week, guys, we shall see you on the radio.